Hotep, brothers and sisters, peace and blessings, black power. As always, giving honor to the creator, the ancestors. My sister, dear sister, who's in the ancestral realm, along with Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul of our Street Law Soldiers movement. My father, my in-laws, and all of the ancestors who do so much honor for the work that they've done into making our existence possible today. And for all of my viewers and followers, I appreciate you all dearly. What I want to talk about today is a subject that I've been dealing with for the last several years. The Street Law newspaper, Street Law News, which is still in circulation, but only by demand in terms of various issues. But we're still in demand. We're still in circulation. However, one story, I'm not going to call it a story because most stories have particular good endings to them. But what I want to discuss, this is an issue, an ongoing tragedy, as well as a murder. And we're talking about this sister, I believe she was, give me a second. Okay, and I'm talking about PFC LaVena Johnson, who was 19 years old, only 19 years old, and she, at 19, she enlisted into the U.S. Army with the purpose of paying her own college tuition, paying her way through college. She was an honor roll student in high school. Her father and her grandfather were retired military personnel who are very, very highly decorated soldiers. And she had agreed to go into the military because she wanted to take the load off of her parents of footing the bill for her to further her education in college. However, when she enlisted, she was deployed to Iraq, where she ended in the war in combat, and she ended up in Baghdad. And very, 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 very smart sister. You may not be able to read this, but I'll read this to you. It says that LaVena Johnson was deployed to Baghdad for combat. 8 weeks later, she was murdered and raped on July 19th, 2005. Johnson had a broken nose, broken teeth, chemical burns on her genitals to destroy all DNA, and a gunshot wound to the head. The U.S. Army refused to release any information until a white attorney demanded information on another white soldier, also was an NFL cornerback, Pat Tillman, for the Arizona Cardinals, who was so-called killed by friendly fire. And it was only then that the U.S. Army placed the information on LaVena Johnson into the Freedom of Information Act, which was filed. Now, you can tell that it was something foul about that situation then, because the military, you know, I'm a former military personnel myself, and they are famous for covering up a whole bunch of their dirt, and they get away with it. I mean, rapes, for a woman to be raped in the military is nothing. They look at it as nothing. They go, the rapists, you know, they go unprosecuted, and there's a lot of alcohol consumption in the military and a lot of drug use, and as it stands right now, there are a lot of There's a lot of gangs. We have Bloods and Crips and GDs and MS-13s in the military. And it's a whole bunch of chaos now, but the military is famous for covering up their white soldiers, especially and specifically their white soldiers. LaVena Johnson was a very, very happy young woman. Only 19 years old. And you can tell she had a good head on her shoulders. She was very, very articulate, very, very smart and intelligent. You know, brought up by a good family, good parents. Try making your juicing. Anyway, that's her with her father, who I'll take my hat off to, Mr. Johnson. He is a very, very determined father who committed his life to finding out who were the culprits and what actually happened to his daughter. And by him being a decorated military personnel, you can see that he's inside the barracks. And that's her mother. Very, like I said, once again, very loving, very supportive parents. Very good people. Now let's get down to the tragedy. This is the tent where Private First Class Johnson was stationed in. Those were her quarters, along with a whole bunch of white devils. And what happened? What happened, based on my personal investigation and based on the evidence that has been recovered, that these white boys got drunk and they decided to rape this young girl, 19-year-old girl, who really wasn't sexually active at that time, only 19 years old, not even totally fully developed, and with her mind set on serving her country as well as going to school, furthering her education. However, these drunk devils, these white fucking pieces of shit devil cracker motherfucking soldiers, you know, who have good, who have these conservative motherfucking parents that have money, that are able to pay their way for their children's, for the little devil's misdeeds and the anguish and punishment that they inflict on people of color. You know, their dirty fucking parents pull out their checkbooks to cover their goddamn dirt. You know, and this is a, you know, very, very, I take this particular situation very personal, because when you see a tragedy happen like this and no one is doing anything about it, no one is saying anything about it, it really, you know, it can really get under your skin. Now, this is a graphic photo of LaVena Johnson laying on the ground. Now, this is the evidence. If you look real close, you will see a weapon. You will see a weapon to the right. To the right here. On the other side of this cot. On the other side of the cot. Now, how could she have shot herself with an M16 weapon and it landed on the other side of the cot? It's impossible. Now, this is the evidence that really puts the nail in the coffin for every fucking cracker that was in that tent. That weapon had a serial number of 709-5028. It was planted there because LaVena Johnson's weapon was 709-7069. So where was her weapon at? And that weapon was planted there. Also, she was doused in her genital area with some type of solution like lye, as you can see, to kill any DNA, and which literally ate this young girl's vagina up like acid that they put on her. Also, she had a bullet wound to the head that went up under her chin, you know, which could have been given and inflicted by anyone. But they tried to make it seem like she put an M16 under her chin. The weapon flies about 20 feet away from her on the other side of a cart. She has acid all over her body to kill any DNA. Not all over her body, but in her genital area to kill any DNA. Nose broken. Teeth broken. Also had a black eye. And the military has insisted on covering this up. And if you can see her in her casket, you know, she's stuffed with paper. You know, her brain and everything has been removed out of her body. That's just an outer shell with the uniform on. And as you can see, her features, you know, have taken a different turn, where her scalp is crooked. If you look real carefully, you'll see that her scalp is crooked, meaning that the coroner, military coroner, were in, you know, all of them were involved with this cover-up. And this is what they do. This is the code of honor which these goddamn savages have. That's the parents. And see, and this is the thing about you goddamn crackers. You know, you'll play that role like you're so sorry and so sad that you don't know anything about the situation, you know, and that you're going to pretend like you're going to get to the bottom of something that you've done. This is the shit that gets me. She was a happy sister. And once again, another black person that has trust and faith in this goddamn plantation called the United Snakes of America. Just another one that has been murdered, you know, that goes unsung, unnoticed, unforgotten. You know, and another thing that gets me, that we're so concerned about Kanye, these fucking Kardashians, and so much other bullshit. These talk shows, the have and the have-nots. We're so caught up in this bullshit, the NBA Finals. While some of our people, as we speak, have been and are being brutally murdered by this goddamn devil. Which is a shame, which just proves how lackadaisical and how fearful that black people are of white and white supremacy. We talk a good goddamn game when it comes to dealing with each other. We'll ride on each other like it ain't nothing. You'll have a dream of taking somebody out that look like you. But when it comes to, you know, signing a petition, helping this man out, helping this man find the white culprits, because it was all white boys in that goddamn tent. All whites that were in that tent. But we continue to pass the buck. We continue to say shit like, you know, we need to pray for these people. We need to do everything except step to the devil. And I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of this shit. Because see, it's nothing you devils can say about this sister. She has no criminal record. You can't throw any dirt up. She doesn't have any children. And so there's nothing you can do but turn your grandsons and your sons in. Because they're the ones that's responsible. That's typical white savage, white Roman, Euro savage behavior. Alcohol, rape, murder. That's the order of the day. Even in the movies, they always promote that. Any type of suspenseful movie, they promote drugs and alcohol, rape and murder. And by the black community being so addicted and infected with drama that we don't see what's going on. You know, my condolences go out to the Johnson family. I pray, I ask the ancestors, I ask the Creator to look deep into this and give some of us the power and the strength to dive into this situation and give us hints, lead us in the right way so we can come up and run up on these goddamn savages that committed this atrocity to this young queen. Think about if it was your daughter, your sister, or your mother. Would you want the community, would you want the nation to take note of this? Or would you rather for them to tell you they'll get back with you later because Golden State is playing? Or to have or have not homosexual soap operas on? I'll be getting back with you all, brothers and sisters, shortly. Black Power.